Johnson. Wait, did they just put me in charge of black stuff?
For 2 seasons, the Johnsons on Blackish have left viewers in stitches.
Obama's the first black president?
You're doing a bang-up job over here.
With an edgy take on being black and successful in America.
You know what word I miss? Colored.
Laughs aside, the hit ABC comedy isn't afraid to delve into controversy. Race is front and center here.
There's some things black people don't like to talk about, like if OJ really did it.
Even this season's first episode tackled the N-word.
I don't get what the big deal is. My friends use the N-word all the time.
Which friends?
Anthony Anderson stars as high-level ad exec Andre, called Dre, who worries his privileged kids are out of touch with their roots and only blackish.
You gotta keep it real.
Keep it real.
On the show, Dre's determined to keep it real in his household, which opens the door to some hot-button issues, including another sensitive topic, an episode entitled Hope, dealing with police brutality.
This is the unarmed guy who was selling DVDs that got tased 37 times.
Wow, is he okay?
He got tased 37 times, so, you know, he's not great.
Though other sitcoms have often taken on heated social issues, like growing pains with teens and alcohol.
Were you drinking?
Yes. Was Sandy? Yes. And driving.
And Roseanne with birth control.
Are you crazy? She wants me to take her to get birth control, and that's a good thing?
Few have handled race like Blackish. Have you talked to your own kids about
I have.
the police and race?
I haven't. I was like, you know, son, one day it's going to be thrown in your face how black you really are. And hopefully I prepared you with the tools to deal with that when that happens. If they do get a trial, you see what that gets us.
It's something he's learned from personal experience.
I've had my run-in on the receiving end of a billy club just from walking down my street. You know, they're looking for drug dealers. I was like, look at me, dog. I'm coming home in dance tights from the high school from the performing arts.
If I'm not really black, then could somebody please tell my hair and my ass?
Dre's TV wife, Rainbow, played by actress Tracy Ellis Ross.
It seems perfectly appropriate for our show. It seems perfectly appropriate for this family. We are a family living in this time. This is what's on the news. This is what's happening in our country. And this is something that this family would need to respond to.
Actor Lawrence Fishburne, who plays Dre's father, Pops, sees this as an opportunity. You really bring in all the serious moments.
Talk about Trayvon, and we talk about Freddie Gray, and we talk about Eric Gardner, because this is a conversation that we're having in the country right now.
If you have to talk to the cops, there's only 7 words you need to know. Yes, sir. No, sir. And thank you, sir.
The scene struck a nerve for the actress who plays grandmother Ruby, Jennifer Lewis, who grew up near Ferguson, Missouri.
I was warned as a child never to go to Ferguson alone, but Ferguson had a movie theater. I was not bothered by racism. I went and sat there with my popcorn. So Ferguson was personal for me.
Kenya Barris created Blackish to fill what he said was a void on TV.
Because there's so few examples of people of color on television, a lot of times the few examples that are become sort of the voice piece for America.
In fact, Blackish prides itself on being politically incorrect.
Were you worried about the name Blackish in the beginning?
I was worried about it, and now I can't think it being called anything else.
That was the big difference between us and The Cosby Show. That's why I stuck to the name Blackish. That family was about a family that happened to be black, and this was about a family that was absolutely black.
We wanted to know how you think a black guy would say good morning.
Probably just like that.
Some people of color say they're a little squeamish. Sometimes they worry that we're getting close to stereotyping and also some of the subject matter. Does it bother you that some folks find it a little uncomfortable?
No, it doesn't bother me. That means we're in our groove. That means we're doing what we set out to do. You know, and any time that you're trying to say something of relevance and importance, it's going to make people uneasy.
Did you feel when you were raising your kids and you are first generation successful that there were times where they're just kind of blackish, not quite?
Oh, yes. My son came to me at 12 years old and said he didn't feel black. I understood where he was coming from, being a 12-year-old kid, born into privilege, And then my family's still living in Compton and in Watts. And when he sees what's going on around this country with young black men, and, you know, that's not his experience.
Still, comedy is the cornerstone of Blackish. We got a taste during our set visit.
As I said, we are moving on up. As they say on Cribs, this is where the magic happens.
For people who know the show, that magic is inside Dre's closet.
All I'm concerned about are my shoes.
Oh my gosh.
My shoe collection.
Okay, this is crazy.
Anderson feels free to borrow his character's shoes since he lends moments of his own life to the show. Remember this episode?
I want to have a bar mitzvah.
So that was actually a real event.
That was a real event. I was like, son, we cannot have a bar mitzvah. That is not who we are. And I was like, son, well, your friends are Jewish. That's why they're having bar mitzvahs. And I was like, okay, look, this is what we'll do, man. I said, I will throw you a party. And you know what we do? We'll call it a bro mitzvah.
The cast hoping these offbeat stories not only give viewers a laugh, but something to relate to as well.
It's liberating to be part of something that's relevant and that's resonating with the American people. And the highest compliment that I've ever received from my shows, when I see your family up there, I see my family.
For Nightline, this is Deborah Roberts in Burbank, California.
Blackish airs Wednesday night at 9:30 right here on ABC. And next, the visitor in this White House video.
It's absolutely amazing. I went to Martin Luther King, tried to pass out my flyer, trying to get rights for all people. There's a guy named Ricky Steele that I've given flyers to many times, trying to get rights. This was January 2016, I believe it was. And then there was Masons there at the Martin Luther King there on Panama City, McKenzie Park. Masons there. I probably handed out at least about 30 flyers. Ain't heard nothing about it in the news or anything like that. I think it was about either when the Eric Garner thing there, I went to what's called a die-in at Panama City Hall. And there was a guy named Jerry Causey there. And there was Janice Lucas there. And here I am, I'm passing out my flyer. It's called a PDF Oath of Arrest and Prosecution. I begged them to try and download it onto their smartphone. They would not even do that. I tried to get the news interested. I put it up on YouTube. 4 videos. And it's like there's an industry. There's an industry of where they cry all the time, but when you try to get something done, and you got the proof that you can do something, and you got quick, simple, cheap solutions, they ain't interested in it. Just like, I'm white. I've been thrown in jail 20 times. Minimum 20 times. Never, ever, for just saying, I think I'm just going to just knock somebody over the head because I just feel like doing it today. I had to defend myself one time where a guy pulled a fucking knife out on me. I'm the person that went to jail. I've been thrown in jail for these are cop hate crimes: trespassing, loitering, disorderly conduct, and recently, February 9th, 4:30, in Panama City, Florida, at Wilson Avenue and 23rd Street, I had a punk-ass motherfucking cop told me to ride on the fucking sidewalk. Well, I contacted the Bay County Sheriff's Department. I talked to a Becky Johns, who's been records there 30 years. Tried to get her to do something about it. I talked to a lieutenant, left a message with Lieutenant Brown of the Florida Highway Patrol about it. Nothing's been done. I called Brian Harlow of the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Nothing was done. I called Warren Davis, who's been 12 years in the Florida governor's office. Nothing was done. February 2007, I had a cop, Hernandez, and a bunch of 4 other cop cars conspiring to get me where I couldn't ride my bicycle down the road. And I took that to fucking trial, man. And so what happened is the so-called hearing officer, I think her name was Pam Smoke, I think her name was. She was a prosecutor, if I'm not correct. And so anyway, what happened was, she never came out and let me talk, let me interrogate. She used these fucking dirty tricks of, you look at me, don't look at him. So they have all kinds of dirty ass motherfucking tricks. So the truth of the matter is, my experience is they don't give a shit about anybody else unless there's something in there for them. I've tried my damnedest to try and address about the facts of harmless homeless people being thrown in jail on bullshit charges. I talked to a Vietnam veteran, pardon me, not a Vietnam veteran, but a veteran of, he told me he was 9.5 tours, Kenny Luther overseas. He was a sniper, he told me. He comes back, you can tell on his face that he's got lifelong injuries that's going to affect his possibility of being able to probably have a normal life. Fucking goddamn idiot motherfucking cop threw him in jail. Yet at the same time, he was sleeping in the park. Also, there was a Patricia Wilder, I think her name was arrested by an idiot fucking clown, Officer Gray. I had Sergeant Stryker, the Panama City idiot fucking clown department, put goddamn charges on me where I tried to force that motherfucker into a trial. June 15, 2015, I was all set to go to court. I had to go to court for 6 months straight. That motherfucker never had to go one time. So the truth of the matter is, my experience is, they don't give a shit about everybody. They only fucking give a shit about themselves and nobody else. We got these fucking boom cars going up and down the road. Cops can't find them motherfuckers. I've been talking about one that's a long black one that's putting ambulance and fire department people in danger. Recently, we had this bullshit thing called Move Over Florida. Move over vehicles for emergency vehicles, January 2016. I guess after the cops got their fucking bribe money, they didn't give a shit no more. Because I've been trying to protect the ambulance and fire department people with these boom car punk motherfuckers for years, man. The felonies that they fucking do, they're terrorists. Under 876 of the Florida statute, they put ambulance and fire department people in danger. Under 806.10 of the Florida statute, which is a felony. Even the Florida Constitution, Article 2, Section 7 of the Florida Constitution says unnecessary noise will not be tolerated. No matter how many fucking laws I look up, not enough. So Jimbikeman, I thank my Maker that my Maker gave me a mouth and that I might be somebody that might open it when I see things that are far worse than my sin.